Carolina meteorologist Matthew East, and thanks for clicking on to East's weather video. I'm cutting this video here on Thursday evening, and I'm going to take you through the next several days leading up to the Christmas holiday. First of all, here we are. This is based off the 12Z run of the GFS. This is valid at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, Friday morning. Surface low moving through the Florida Panhandle, and some light rain trying to spread through parts of the Carolinas. Really not a big deal here. Rain amounts will be very light. The heavier rain totals staying off to our south over parts of South Carolina down into Georgia and Florida. That low scoots out to sea there by Friday evening. Note, high pressure over New England wedging down here the eastern side of the mountains. That's going to give us one of our cold air damming or Carolina wedges that will be in place for Friday and Saturday. A lot of cloud cover. Let's fast forward here to Saturday evening. And we'll have a cloudy day, or at least a mostly cloudy day Saturday, maybe some occasional drizzle, and pretty chilly as well with that wedge in place. There is a pretty sharp cold front, though, by Saturday evening, lined up near the Mississippi River Valley, and that'll progress our way. That front moves through here Sunday, and there's our surface map valid at 7 p.m. Sunday evening. This again off the 12Z run of the GFS. We'll probably see some showers moving on throughout the day Sunday. It'll also be milder Sunday as that wedge will get scoured on out. Christmas Eve on Monday looks just fine. A lot of sunshine, highs probably in the 50s. But then problems begin to arise in the weather forecast. Now, again, this is the 12Z GFS. I'm going to compare the GFS to the European model here for the next several frames. This is the 500 millibar chart off of the 12Z run of the GFS. This is valid 7 o'clock in the evening, Christmas Eve. And notice we have one short wave over parts of Texas, another one over the Rocky Mountains. We checked the European model run from 12Z today, and it's really much the same. One short wave over the southern plains, one back around the Rockies. Beyond this is when the GFS, I think, sort of gets lost a little bit. Let's move ahead now to Christmas morning, 7 a.m., and notice what's happened. That first short wave really dampens out here on this run of the GFS, and by the way, the 18Z run of the GFS, much the same. So that on the GFS here, that short wave really begins to dampen out. It places all the emphasis on the second short wave back in the Rockies. All right, let's compare that with the European model at the same exact time. And we have two distinct short waves still very much in play on the European. One moving into the Mississippi River Valley, one back over the Rockies. All right, back to the GFS now for the evening on Christmas Day. And really just one dominant short wave by this point in time in the desert southwest, while the European has a nice closed upper air low moving through parts of eastern Kentucky and western Virginia. And again, two separate disturbances still on the European compared to the one we have by this point in time on the GFS. The result here is that, let's show you the European model run. And this is valid at 7 o'clock Christmas Day in the evening. Low pressure off the South Carolina coast. There's probably in this scenario some light snow or flurries falling over a good chunk of the Piedmont of North Carolina. And that low then shoots off to the northeast, spreading some snow possibilities through eastern Virginia and eastern North Carolina. Contrast that with what happens Christmas Day into Christmas night on the GFS. This is 7 o'clock Christmas Day in the evening. And we just have a little bit of light rain trying to push on up through parts of the Carolinas. Much warmer, way too warm for any snow there on this run of the GFS. So you sort of look to other models to get an idea what some of the other models are going with. This is the Canadian model from 12Z today. And I know this is a little difficult to see, but what we have is an area of low pressure off the South Carolina coast, two very distinct short waves, once again at 500 millibars, and so generally the Canadian certainly siding with the European model. And I think that the GFS is really lost right now. And now it could wind up being right. Let me say that right now. The GFS solutions could be right, but I tend to, at this point, lean more toward the European ideas that we're going to see a low-pressure ride up somewhere off of the Carolina coastline. If that occurs, then yes, we have a chance for a little light rain, I should say for a little light snow, or maybe some snow flurries here in the Piedmont Christmas Day and especially Christmas night. But that's all it is right now is a possibility. The GFS could wind up being right. We could end up with some rain. We could end up with a cold, dry day on Christmas Day. Or we could see a little light snow or some snow flurries. Again, I'm leaning with that European model solution right now. We'll see how it all plays out. Still several more days to watch this. And this very complex pattern, a lot is going to change on the modeling between now and Christmas. So stay tuned. There'll be some flip-flopping in a lot of forecasts you see out there. At the moment, I'm going to continue to stick to my guns and say there's a chance, yes, for maybe a little light snow or some snow flurries Christmas Day into Christmas night. We'll watch it. It's certainly not the most likely of scenarios in terms of us getting everything to line up right for snow, but it is still a possibility. All right, that's it for this edition of East Weather Video. You can catch us on the television, News 14 Carolina, Time Warner Cable Channel 14 in the Charlotte, Raleigh, and Triad television markets, and also on the web at www.news14.com. That's it for this edition of East Weather Video. Everyone have a great night, and God bless.